Hey guys, like in my last video, I said that I would give you some first impressions on the Spyderco Dodo, so that's what I'm going to do. I've only had this knife for, let's say, by now, only 6 hours, but I really dig this knife. It's awesome, and I'll give you a couple things that I like about it, a couple things I don't like about it, some complaints I have about where it came from, but, I'm not going to that's not a big deal, because I don't know if it was Spyderco who's to blame for those problems, but even if they are, they're not really that big of a problem. Anyway, so getting into it, I got this knife for about $180, which, if you guys have seen any of the prices for Spyderco Dodos, you'll know that's a pretty good price in my opinion. They usually go for like $220 or $230 on eBay, especially these. The orange ones. The carbon fiber ones I think go for like $210. Anyway, so I think I got an alright deal on this, and I've wanted one for a very long time, so even if I got, a normal deal, that's fine by me. Not every knife purchase needs to be a steal. Anyway, yes, I've wanted one of these for a very long time, and I wish it was the blue one, but that's not a big deal. I do like orange G10. This is very vibrant. The camera's not really picking it up too truly to what it really is, but this is very, very, very vibrant G10. Really bright hunter orange, almost like safety orange. So right off the bat, this thing is very smooth. The previous owner said that he really only took this out of the box once or twice, and I mean it looks that way from, like, the insides are very clean. Yeah, there was no real dust or dirt anywhere inside of this, so that leads me to believe that he was telling the truth. Although the edge, this is my one complaint about this, was, I don't know if you can really see it, the edge, there is a portion of it kinda right where my fingernail is, that there was a little nick into the edge. It was just a little chip out of it, which it was so minor, but it's one of those things I wish wasn't there. I'm sure if I sharpen it a couple times, I'll take enough metal off to it'll look uniform, but it's just one of those little complaints for the price of this. I wish that wasn't there. But who knows, maybe that was the fault of the guy who used it. Maybe the first time he ever used it, he ended up chipping the blade a little bit, but like I said, it's not a big deal. It really doesn't affect the cutting performance. I mean, I've used this thing as much as I could today. I've kind of gone out of my way to try to use it, and I really like it. Yeah, I'm not really disappointed at all by this knife. It's everything I wished it was. The ergonomics on this thing are amazing. Like, that's the one thing everyone always says about these, but holy crap, this thing, every single grip you can think of is incredibly comfortable. Like that. Even reverse grip, this thing is super comfortable. The little thing right here comes in handy. This little back swell perfectly conforms to the natural shape of your hand. My two fingers, my pinky, and my index all lock in right where they were designed to. I mean, this thing just feels like it was designed specifically for me. This is just, it feels amazing in hand. And even without jimping, you don't feel like you're gonna slip. I mean, I haven't really hard used this. I mean, I cut some cardboard today. One thing I will say, this isn't the greatest thing for food prep. I tried that a little bit, just because of the shape. I mean, it's not gonna excel at food prep. And the only way I could really describe this blade shape to someone who didn't know what it was would be, like, it's got the reverse S recurve with, I mean, this is sort of like a sheep's foot abrupt angle, but it has a hawkbill tip. So, I mean, it's a very unique blade shape. I mean, that's obviously, it's a very unique looking knife. And people either think these are just god ugly, and some people just love them. I happen to be one of the people who really loves the design. I think it's so cool. As you guys saw, I mean, I made a shirt with one of these on it. So yeah, that's kind of cool. These feel pretty light. I mean, if I recall right, they're under 3 ounces. This orange model is actually the heaviest out of the black G10, the blue G10, this one, and the carbon fiber, which I think there might just be a little bit of added metal to this for tolerance purposes to kind of get a tighter fit over the blue one and the black G10 one, which maybe adds like a 1/4 of an ounce to it, but that's not a big deal at all. This thing, it doesn't feel like it's super heavy, which is great. As you can see, this has CPM S30V steel, which out of the box it wasn't as sharp as I expected it to be, but then again, like I said, I got this used. Who knows, maybe the guy just did cutting with this just to entertain himself and always put it back in the box, and that's why there was no dust. But I mean, I touched it up on the Spyderco Sharp Maker earlier, and I mean, this thing is it's pretty sharp right now. Like, I'll just sorry about that. There we go. And I mean, the tip of this thing just rips into everything. Like, this is barely any downward pressure, and it's just catching. This thing is just impressive. Like, this is just a sweet blade shape. I mean, it's not great for push cut slicing, but if you get any sort of initial cut into this thing and you just drag it, it's gonna cut this like there's no tomorrow. It's amazing how well this thing cuts once you get it going. Yep, this one is made in Golden, Colorado, USA Earth, one of Spyderco's American-made designs, and it just rocks. That's really all I have to say about it as far as my first impressions. Actually, I will talk about a couple more things. One is the pocket clip. It is really good tension, and I don't know if you guys remember, but from some of my other videos, the wire clips on my other knives all kind of shift on the G10 and it makes a clicking noise. This one doesn't. I mean, it just stays where it's supposed to stay. That might be because of it's not the wraparound one. The Stage 2 and the Urban are both wraparound ones, and they click back and forth a lot. I can't remember offhand if the Junior does that too, but I mean, this thing isn't as tight as the Junior. This one is like the perfect tension for keeping in the pocket and retrieving, which is awesome. It hits that sweet spot, which is great. It reminds me of it's a little bit tighter than the Manix 2 lightweight wire clip, but it's just as good. I mean, those two are the best that I've really ever had. And speaking of which, that's the same designer, Eric Glesser. He did a really good job on this knife. This isn't the review on it, by the way. These are just sort of initial impressions. These are all subject to change as I use this over the next couple of weeks, and I mean, I'm going to carry this every day and give you guys a review on it after that. So, yeah, look forward to that. This one has the ball bearing lock, which is sweet. It provides a very secure lockup. I really like the design of it. I think it looks cool, and I just like this design. The only complaint about the lock, and a lot of people have touched upon this, is that it's tough to use, but what I think they fail to mention is it's tough to use repeatedly. Like, if I were to sit here and just fondle this knife for hours on end, yeah, that would hurt, and it'd be tough after a while. But as you can see, it's relatively easy to operate one-handed. I mean, the momentum, like, it can close on its own, like that. It's very smooth, like I said, but yeah, you do have to get fingernail in there a little bit. As you can see, my fingernails aren't too long right now, but it works. Anyway, so yeah, the point is, I mean, if you want to go do this like once every couple hours, if you were to use your knife, it's no problem. But if you sat here doing this over and over again, eventually it's going to get tough, and you're going to hurt your fingers, and they're going to get sore. It's going to be hard to operate. So yeah, I don't think the lock is that as big of an issue as people think. But you know, who knows? Maybe you need to keep opening and closing your knife for whatever reason, but that's not very likely. Anyway, so that's all I'm going to say about this for now. Kind of look for the review a couple weeks down the road, maybe a week or two. I'm going to try to use each knife that I review for at least 2 weeks at a time. I'm going to do a review on this knife really soon, just because, or actually right after this video, but that's just because, I mean, I've used this quite a bit in the time that I've had it, and I think that I have a pretty good idea on how this is going to perform over time. I mean, yeah, but this isn't that video. So yeah, first impressions are great. Thanks for watching. Whoops.